check this out. We are getting somewhere. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be back to work on our 1966 Ford Mustang that we bought from the salvage auction with some burn damage up front. As you can tell, we've done a lot of work to it. And in the previous video, we actually got the rear end out of the 2015 Mustang. And in today's video, we're gonna be working on getting the frame built for this car. As you can see, we did pick up a lot of steel from the steel store. But before we get to work on this car, we actually need to pull the dashboard out of the 2015 that we have sitting over there, because we are gonna be widening the car today and we wanna get that dashboard set in there perfectly. So let's get that dashboard out of that car. So we're gonna start off by removing this door right here because it is in the way of getting the dashboard out. So let's go ahead and get this thing off. So we got the door off the car. Now we need to go ahead and remove this windshield right here so we don't cut ourselves when we're pulling out the dash. So the main thing we're gonna be using on this dash removal is screwdrivers, and I wanna give a big shout out to Tecton for actually sending these things out. They have sent us a lot of tools in the past, and I've absolutely loved the quality and the fit and finish of them. If you guys wanna head over there and get you some nice high quality tools for a low price, go to tecton.com, and I also drop a link down below. So let's go ahead and get this dashboard out. The dashboard out of the car, and we do have a little bit of an issue. The metal part of the dashboard is bent a little bit right here. The actual structure of it is not bent, it's just the brackets. So we'll probably just end up either straightening those or get a new one. But now we need to move on to getting this front subframe off the car. And that'll be finally everything we need to take off the car so we can start fabbing up the new frame for the 66. So we got the subframe off the 2015 Mustang, now it's come to the 66 Mustang. We actually have to put these clamps back on. If you guys seen the last video, we did put the clamps on the Mustang so we could pull it out. But let's go ahead and get these clamps back on, and we're gonna start the widening process of this car. Clamps nice and secure. Now we're gonna do a little bit of talking. Everybody was saying about the custom windshield that we would need. We might either do a custom windshield, or we will probably just extend this A-pillar a bit out, about 1.5 inches on both sides, and that'll basically accommodate for the wider car, and the windshield will just sit exactly how it does on an OEM one. And also that will help us out because we are planning on doing a roll cage, and the roll cage will probably go just like that, and it will hide it really nice, make the inside really clean. Now let's go ahead and figure out how we're gonna set this car up to get it cut. So the way we're gonna be prepping this car to get cut in half is we have 2 tubes right here, one bigger one and one smaller one. And what I'm gonna do is drill a hole right here and put one nut right here and a nut right here. And basically when we cut the car, we can slide it in and out, and then we'll put bolts through there and it'll hold the car nice and secure. So let's go ahead and get them welded on and bolted in. So we're gonna start off on this side because as you can see, there's already a bar here. So we're gonna cut this bar in half and cut this off, and then we'll insert a bigger bar so it can slide back and forth. So we got the first one welded on, and as you can see, once we put the smaller pipe inside and bolt this down, it's gonna hold it nice and tight. So let's go ahead and weld this piece back on the car. First bar welded in, let's go ahead and test, see how it's gonna work. Nice and tight, it ain't going nowhere. And now once we do the cut, we can simply just slide it over exactly how much we need. If we need to go back in, we'll just keep moving it. So now let's go ahead and do one more right here, and we're also gonna do another one up here. So we got all the nuts welded onto the tubes. Now we need to go ahead and prep this surface over here and get all these welded on. So we got both front ones set up, and we also went ahead and put the one in the rear in here. But now we need to go ahead and get this lower valence off right here, just some bolts from the top. we got all the bars welded in. We got one up here, one down here, and one up here in the quarter panel area. And we also have another one in the trunk. Now we need to go ahead and start doing our measurements. Probably right here, just straight down the center. So let's go ahead and measure this out, put a piece of tape, and we'll start cutting this thing in half. So we went ahead and wiped down the roof, and we did notice there's a little marking right here, right in the center. So we're gonna do some taping over here and then tape back there and start cutting this thing in half. All the cutting done on the car. It is officially cut in half. Now all we need to do is loosen up all the 10mm bolts on these bars right here, and then we can widen the whole car. Nice and widened out, and now you can see the wheel gap is almost there. We might just need to get some new rims now. These are a little bit too wide. We'll have to probably change the offset, and we only did widen it about 3 inches. So now let's go ahead and see how the dashboard fits in. So we got the dashboard nice and lined up in the car, and surprisingly it's fitting up pretty good since we did widen the car around 3 inches right here, and we did just put it on some clamps right here, and we also had to trim up the dash just a little bit. But check this out, we are getting somewhere. There it is right there. The dashboard is still a little bit broken right here, but I'm thinking if we heat it up, we can kind of just bend it down, maybe glue all this up, or we'll just get a new dashboard because they are pretty cheap if they don't have the airbag in there. But look at this, we got everything lined up. Then we have the gear shifter right here with the navigation and the push to start. Man, this thing is coming together. Now let's go ahead and check out the rear. A lot of people were asking why we didn't just custom build a rear suspension. Is because I want to use all the factory Ford stuff so the car drives exactly like a 2015 Ford Mustang, because I am going to be driving this car a lot. I'm talking about daily driving it, and I want the drivability of a 2015 car. And also the sensors on the spindles are going to be reading to the speedometer and the ABS, so everything's going to work in uniform, and it's just going to be perfect. So now that we've talked about the rear subframe, let's go ahead and talk about the plans for the front subframe. As you can see, this thing is pretty badly bent. The front one side is too far forward, but we will be probably building a custom subframe just using probably the mounts, and we also have to modify it because the motor needs to sit a bit lower. And we need also use this electric steering right here because it does go to the spindles, and we are trying to keep everything OEM because of the ABS lines right here, and we want the ABS working properly on this car. But I don't think it should be too hard just using these mock-ups. because as you can see, this suspension is really simple. There's literally 2 bolts for the control arms, and that shouldn't be too hard to line up. Now let's go ahead and see the frame rails that we picked up for this car. They're right here. I think this should be pretty thick, or it should be good for the car. As you can see, that is way thicker than an OEM frame rail, and we'll start knocking everything up and fabbing everything. So stay tuned for the next video, because we will be doing all that, and that is going to be all the cutting for this car. I mean, it takes a lot of cutting to do a custom car like this, but that's about it on that. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at vTuned.